Okay, hey, I have also two people in the back.
There's one over here and one right there.
So I'm going to inform you guys today on how to deal with stress as a student athlete from both sides of being a student and also being an athlete. So according to NCAA statistics, there are 420,000 collegiate student athletes today, with majors ranging from nursing to business to pre-law, which are all challenging and require a lot of time put into them. So everyone knows that being a college student is stressful enough, but according to Athletic Insights study, student athletes have reported to have a higher than usual amount of stress in having lots of responsibilities, getting little to no sleep, and having demanding extracurricular activities. That also include having external pressures from parents and teammates and friends in performing well all the time. So signs of stress can be fatigue, sleeplessness, or loss of appetite in anybody. And those with jobs or extra responsibilities, such as having to take care of another sibling or just any type of extra responsibility, can also relate to the student side of being a student athlete and dealing with stress there. So online research from Hawkeye's News suggests that 10 to 15% of athletes are at risk of developing a mental illness and because of anxiety from their collegiate sport, which is not very good. So there are 3 strategies that I came up with and use myself for dealing with stress for the student side of being a student athlete. And they include staying prepared and managing your time wisely, finding effective study habits, and to not overload yourself. So by staying prepared and managing your time wisely, you can plan your days when you're going to do homework, when to study for tests, when to do assignments, so that you can kind of live by a plan, know when you have time for other things and when you don't. Also by using a calendar to keep up with all your assignments and what you have to do is super helpful, or a pocket planner, anything that you can write down what you need to do and keep up with them and when they're due and stuff like that. So also by not leaving stuff to the last minute can be super helpful in reducing how stressed you are the night before a test, or not having to stay up late to write a paper or whatever. So the next thing is finding effective study habits, so you're not wasting your time with the little amount of time that you do have to study from practice and anything else you have to do as a student. So by using flashcards, PowerPoints, or group studying are effective ways that I found for myself, helps me study and retain information that I need to. So the last one is to not overload yourself. Don't put too much on your plate or spread yourself too thin, and to take time for yourself as well. That can, reduce stress a lot as a student by taking time to breathe and, work on things a little at a time. So moving on to the athletic side of dealing with stress, I also came up with 3 strategies that I feel are super helpful, and from researching it sound super helpful. So they are learning from criticism, practicing to make perfect, and having a reliable support system. So by learning from criticism, the first thing you should do is just get rid of the first negative thoughts that pop up in your head, that this person is trying to, they don't want the best for me, they're just pointing out my flaws. And really, criticism comes from those who really want you to be better and come from people who believe that you can do better. So by taking their criticism and learning from it is super important, and taking into consideration what they have to say. You might think that you're doing something correctly when really there's a way that's much easier for you or can make you become better that someone else is seeing. You should take that into consideration so that you can become a better player as well. By practicing to make perfect, it can increase your confidence, and which overall means less anxiety when you're performing, whether it's on the court, on the field, wherever. When you practice, you know that you know what to do and how to do it. So, you know, you're already more successful stepping on the court or the field because you know that you're going to do well because you practice it and put, all the extra time that you have into making yourself more perfect so that you can do better and reduce stress from that. So the last one is having a reliable support system. I feel that this one is super important because I find it helpful to talk things through, and by having a support system of your teammates, your friends, coaches, parents, professors, whoever, you can talk through what you're going through on the field. They're there to support and help you, and I just find it super helpful just to let everything out and come up with ways that they can help you reduce your stress if you're feeling overwhelmed, especially as an athlete. I find it can be super stressful. So, yes, those were 3 ways to deal with stress as a student, and 3 ways to deal with stress as an athlete, which can come together and having to deal with stress as a student athlete. So yes, I hope they helped.